Camera is rolling.
Yeah.
How do we start this video?
I don't know. Dunna, your brain's not rolling though, is it?
No, it isn't. So today we're doing something a little bit different. I've got the Blackmagic Pyxis 6K here that I've got on loan, and Lucas has his Nikon. Is Nikon, right?
Yeah, it's a RED Komodo X.
Right? And we're gonna try and compare the two of them, the footage that comes out of both of them, by doing the same shots. And there are some kind of important things on how we're gonna make that happen because they are slightly different cameras. So secure the cup and we're gonna get into it.
Alrighty, so this is the RED Komodo X. This is not a Nikon, like Dunna said. This camera is a Super 35 format cinema camera. It shoots in 6K and has a global shutter, as well as does a file format called RED RAW, which is honestly like my favorite file format to color grade in. It's awesome. This guy goes for about $9,000 USD or about $12,500 Canadian, and that is the starter pack, which is the camera body as well as this outrigger handle, a couple of VMAT batteries, some memory cards, and some other things.
This is the Blackmagic Design Pyxis 6K, so it is a full frame sensor, and as the name suggests, it is 6K. It is definitely not global shutter, and we've also got a way lower price than the RED camera, coming in at $3,300 US or 4,500 Canadian. That's just for the actual body itself. I've got a Tilta cage on it, which was another couple $100, a V-mount battery, as well as the Blackmagic Design Pyxis monitor kit, which I think is somewhere around 500 US. So a little bit more on top of just the body, but altogether still quite a bit less expensive than the RED camera. All right, so when we do these tests, we're gonna try and get as similar to every single shot between the two cameras as possible. But because we've got a full frame sensor and we've got a Super 35 sensor, we've had to make some adjustments. For example, we've got both dual lens APO Triassic prime lenses, but he's gonna be shooting on a 35mm and I'm gonna be shooting on a 50mm, which should give us a pretty similar field of view between the two cameras, so they should be pretty close. And then we're gonna use a compression ratio on the RAW format in both of these cameras that's fairly comparable. So he's gonna be using the medium quality and I'm gonna be using a 5:1 compression, which they should be pretty much the same. So we should get similar amounts of compression and quality in our files. So one of the things that I noticed when he came over to my studio was that the RED takes forever to boot up. And I don't know how quick this boots up. So we're gonna do a boot up test. Hey, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. And this one's on. The monitor's not, oh, there, now the monitor's on. Okay, so I'm good to shoot. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Still working on it. It's got a cool skull on the...
I mean, it looks cool.
It does look cool.
Looks pretty badass.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Okay, we're getting there. Oh,
Almost
the
there.
monitor's
Yep, monitor kicked on.
coming alive.
Almost there.
So not a run and gun.
No,
situation.
and we're good. I think the one thing for sure with the RED is that like it's definitely not built for run and gun shooters. Like this is for like filming on a set. You have time, got batteries. You just want to let it sit and be on the whole time.
Yeah. All right, should we try and get some shots?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Nice. 2, 3, I think maybe a 3. Oh yeah, man, I know my stuff.
I'm pretty sure you just got dirt all over them.
That's your problem, not mine.
They were clean before. All right, so the first shot that we're getting, that Lucas is busy getting right now, is some flaring through these leaves. And we're gonna try and kind of test what the highlight recovery looks like and what the colors look like when you're shooting straight into the sun. A lot of this is gonna have to do with the lens itself, but also will tell us what we can do with these raw files and the dynamic range that we get out of them.
Step in, it's your turn.
Step in. Can I borrow that filter?
You know the filter. There you go.
Are you shooting wide open?
Yeah, wide open. 2.8. Yeah, I think right here. Thor's hammer. Oh God, that was that was so much heavier than I expected. Walk from here. Just come in and just sit down on the edge here. Kind of like this. Like have your body facing this way, because if you face this way, then we get a lot of light off your inside. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, action.
I'm just trying to make sure that we've got as close to the same frame as humanly possible here. I think we got the first of the human shots. I'm covered in wheat or something. Ugh, nature. action.
How long of a take do you need, Dunna? Damn, he's just looking at his phone.
I learned from when I get this one friend out to film for me that having a lot of extra tail at the end of my shots can be really helpful. Somebody likes to cut shots early and then I get screwed in the edit.
Yeah, definitely not me. Already started to step out. Actually, stay there for 2 seconds. I need to pull focus. Action. Thinking we do a little funky boy, a little bit of top down, closer on it.
Is that the technical term? Funky boy?
Funky boy, yeah. Nice. Little bit more. Little bit more. A little bit more. You're good. How's the heat, Mac?
It's quite lovely.
It actually looks great on the FX3 right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be the winner of all of them.
Probably. Yeah.
So one thing that we're finding is between the time that it took to take his camera off and set mine up and get the shot and everything, the sun just, it's like a ball, and like the earth is like moving, and I don't know, something's happening, but the light keeps changing.
Dude,
so.
you are a scientist. Wow. Man, what are you doing?
Trying to get so that I can get a little bit of the table in the foreground.
Typically, Dunna, just for your reference, someone would usually put one of the legs going down here to protect the camera from falling forward.
You got a problem with the way I do things?
Kinda.
Come at me, bro. 3, 2, 1, action. Where's your battery at on that thing?
My battery's at 15%.
And you started at?
60%.
Okay, and wait, what are we at on here? 76, and this started at like 95.
Yeah.
So I think the red kills batteries.
Yeah, the reds do like to consume energy. I'll typically go through like 2 V mounts in like 1 day of filming. The one thing I will say about these dual lens lenses, it does actually give like a really nice bokeh in the background, like flaring a little bit. It's giving some circular bokeh. It's a bit cinematic. It's also a macro lens. So honestly, like, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with these lenses for their price. Dunna's messing with my tripod. He's messing with my shot. I think he's gonna be like, look, Lucas doesn't know how to film. Look at what he did. I know you're gonna blame me. Yeah, look at your phone, and start looking up in 3, 2, 1, go. What do we say?
Please, Lucas.
There you go.
Thank you. All right, I am rolling. So we'll do the same thing. So I'll count you down 3, 2, 1, and then you look up. And 3, 2, 1, up.
3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, action. Sweet. I think we got enough shots so we can put something together now. And I guess the last thing that we need to do is just compare the footage. So let's head back to the studio and see what they look like.
Thanks for Dunna for coming out today and helping me out on my channel. And I'm actually taller than him normally. I'm just on a slope.
I have heels on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I've put together our sequence. The shots are as similar as I could possibly make them, but before I get into my thoughts of the footage, I wanna see if you can guess which one is which. So one side will be the Pyxis, the other side will be the Red, and down in the comments, I want you to take a guess and see if you can figure out which is which. And then we'll take a second and I'll point out some of the things that I noticed that were different between the two of them. All right, did you leave your guess down in the comments section? If you got it right, you get Lucas's RED Komodo X. Just kidding, I can't give that away. So drum roll, please. On the left-hand side, we have the Pyxis 6K, and on the right-hand side, we have the RED Komodo X. Now, obviously, this wasn't a very scientific comparison or anything like that. We're not shooting test charts. The lighting was changing. We were technically using different lenses, even if they were from the same set. Lots of things that weren't very controlled in this experiment, but I still think it gives us a pretty good idea of how these two perform in that kind of a situation. So here are some things that I found when I was going through the footage. Okay, so we've got the Pyxis on the left and the Red red on the right. And the only thing I did color grading wise was adjusted the ISO and the color temperature to make them match both exposure and color balance. Other than that, I'm just converting to Rec. 709 and I'm doing it the same way on all of the clips. There's very, very little happening in terms of color grading here. One thing that became very obvious in this first clip is that I have a terrible ninja walk, and Lucas's is way better because my footage is way more shaky than his is. But what this also shows us is the difference between the global shutter on the RED camera and the rolling shutter that we're getting on the Pyxis. So especially if you look up in the top corners of the Pyxis, you can see just how wobbly all of the little shakes are, whereas on the RED, the shakes that are there feel really stable. They feel really even. They don't have that kind of jello-y effect. So if you are doing any kind of videography that includes a lot of movement, either movement of the camera or movement in front of the camera, this is definitely going to make a difference. The other thing that I wanted to check out was the highlight recovery and how that kind of worked. So the Pyxis actually has a button in DaVinci Resolve that allows for highlight recovery, but what I found was that the RED kind of already had that applied. So if I turn off highlight recovery, you can see we lose all that detail in the sun where it's coming through the trees there, and it goes kind of gray on us. And you can see that the line gets super flattened out in the scopes on the left-hand side. And the RED is already recovering all those highlights, so it looks pretty clean up there in the top. And when I click highlight recovery for the Pyxis, all of that information comes back in the highlights, so now they look pretty much identical. Now, of course, the biggest thing that everybody talks about when it comes to RED is the colors. The thing that I notice in the Pyxis is that I'm seeing a lot more of the pink in his ear and in his cheek, and I find that a little bit more pleasing and maybe even a little bit more realistic looking than what I'm seeing on the RED side, where it's a lot more yellow and green in the skin tones, that kind of stuff. This is very, very subjective. Another place where I noticed a little bit of a difference in the colors is in the greens. So if we look at the greens in the background here, the RED is a slightly kind of orangier looking green. And this is somewhere where I find that cameras differ a lot, is how they handle greens. The other place that I noticed a bit of a difference was in this shot. Now, if we just pull up a still frame here, the face area on the left-hand side on the Pyxis is nice and crisp and clean, good contrast in that area. Whereas on the right-hand side, I find it looks a little bit more kind of flat. I tried to find that same thing in other clips. So like in this one, if you look at where the hands are, we've got a really crisp, sharp line around the hand, whereas in this one, it's just ever so slightly faded a little bit more. Again, this is a super subjective thing. Part of it may have had to do with the light changing, those kinds of things, but I find that the RED has a slightly less contrasty kind of look, which can lend itself to that kind of cinematic faded vibe if that's what you're going for, and you could totally grade in just a little bit more contrast if you wanted to. So in the end, both of these cameras are great at what they do. There's a lot more that you could look at between the two of them if you were trying to compare, you know, how usable they are, all the functions that they have within them. But I'm interested to know down in the comments what you think of these two cameras, if you would choose one over the other and why. So leave a comment down below, and on your way down there, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification button so you don't miss out on future videos. Huge thank you to Lucas for helping me out with this, and Marc for helping me out with this. Huge thank you to you for watching, and I'll see you next time.